Here's exactly how my company, Central Belfast Apartments, won the Best Operator in the UK at the Service Department Awards 2022. So here's the trophy now. This takes absolute pride of place in my house. This is probably the biggest vindication of all the hard work we've put in since we started the company ever. I was absolutely delighted to win it, as was the team, and it was such a reward for all their hard work during the pandemic and beforehand as well. But to win this a few weeks ago in London just meant absolutely everything to me as a business owner. So I'm going to tell you how I did it. So in case you don't know me, my name's Dave Cordner. I'm the founder of Central Belfast Apartments. We're an Airbnb management company based in Belfast. We manage a portfolio of about 50 properties now, worth over £6 million. We're now an industry awarded service department business, but we've won awards like TripAdvisor Traveller's Choice. We've been shortlisted for loads of other awards over the years. We've hosted tens of thousands of happy guests in Belfast. I've been involved in service accommodation for about 15 years, and I started the management company, Central Belfast Apartments, in 2016. So how did we win the award? Right, I'm going to tell you. So right from the start, when I got started in Airbnb, I knew that to be successful, you had to focus on making your guests happy. And what I mean by that, this is a review-driven industry. Every single guest that comes and stays in the property is going to leave you a public review, whether you like it or not. And they can leave a positive one or a negative one. So the way to get those positive ones is to deliver exceptional customer service. Now, everyone knows that. But people coming from property investing backgrounds, often they have a bit of a mindset shift in what that means. They may be used to dealing with tenants, if they have long-term lets, buy-to-lets. And with tenants, things can go on the long finger about if there's a broken down washing machine, it maybe doesn't need fixed right away. If you're renovating a property, it maybe doesn't need to be the best standard possible. There's a lot of that'll do attitude. And that's fine with tenants because they're paying low levels of money every month to live in the property. Once you move into guests who are paying lots of money, then their expectations are a lot higher. And when I started out, meeting and greeting the guests was my favourite part of the business. I loved chatting to them whenever they arrived. I loved showing them around the property, giving them ideas of places to go and things to do on their stay. I'm super passionate about Belfast. It's a city that doesn't get the recognition that it deserves. It's starting to be on people's radars. More and more people are coming. Our tourism industry is still only just getting started. So back then, 10, 15 years ago, when people were coming to visit, they were pioneers. This was before Airbnb even existed. We didn't have any of our massive things like the Titanic Visitor exhibition. We didn't have Game of Thrones yet. So there was, for people who came there, I was very, very grateful for them to come and stay on my property, but also to visit my city that I loved. And I shared that enthusiasm with them. I loved it. I loved telling them about all the cool places to go and the places that were off the beaten track. And they really responded to that. And we have, since then, the best reviews in the city. We're number one on TripAdvisor. Now, as we've grown as a company and as a portfolio, it's not possible for me to do meet and greets anymore. It was whenever I had 1-2 properties, but now we're at 50 plus places. It's not possible for me to meet any guests really. But I knew that customer service was so key and that the guests responded to it so well. So what we tried to do was to replicate that as much as possible. Now we have a team on the ground, and even now they still don't meet our guests when they arrive, but we try and replace the face-to-face with phone calls and email interactions and video content. So we're really still trying to get across all the cool things that people need to see in the city, and we're also trying to get across that, build that rapport with guests, and we can do that over the phone. I agree it's not as good as meeting someone face to face, but it is very hard to do when you have hundreds of guests arriving every day. Now it's a lot of work to have so many touch points through a guest journey. So when a guest books, we have an initial phone call, we phone them up, thank them for their booking, ask them what their plans are, what's their purpose for their visit, is there anything we can help with in terms of suggestions or things to do. If they have any questions before they arrive, of course we respond really quickly to phone calls and emails. And once they've checked in, then we check in with them and ask, how is everything? Are you enjoying your stay? Is there anything that you think the property needs that we can bring round to make your stay a bit better? And also in terms of showcasing what the local area has and all the cool things that I'm super passionate about in Belfast that I love to share with guests. One thing I started to do during the pandemic was create video content and blog articles. And this was a way for me to create content that we could share with our guests, and not even just our guests, the wider public and anyone who's interested in coming to Belfast. So we create TikTok content, and I actually really love doing it. It's brilliant fun. We go out to all the restaurants, the bars, the attractions, and even just out and about in the city centre, interacting with the public. And it's actually been really well received. So we've got 13,000 followers on TikTok now. Now, just over a year ago, I had no idea what TikTok was. I thought it was just dances and whatever else. But it's actually such a powerful platform, so I would definitely recommend getting on it if you're a service accommodation provider. And the good thing is, once you have that video made for TikTok, you can download it, you can share it on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. And the organic reach of TikTok, i.e. meaning people who don't know or follow you, being able to see your content is huge on TikTok. So we have a review of one of the bars in Belfast called the Heart Bar, and it's got nearly 400,000 views. So I love TikTok now, and it was actually one of the reasons the judges specifically mentioned of why we won. Another reason that contributed to us winning was our branding. So at the start of the pandemic, when everyone else was in retreat, we pushed forward. I wanted to do more. I knew the pandemic wasn't going to last forever, and I wanted to come out the other side of it in a much stronger position. So like a lot of businesses, I got a bounce back loan, and I decided to invest it as much as I could in building a better foundation for us that we could come out of the pandemic stronger. So we got a brand new website, we got a brand refresh to make it much more in line with our values. I also invested in myself, and I knew that I needed to be in a stronger position coming out of the pandemic than I was before. I got a business coach, a mentor, and it's been game changing for me. A business coach for me is invaluable because it's accountability for one. It pushes me to do the things that I know I should do, but I'm not really sure if I can do. And because of that, our growth has been astronomical since I started getting a coach. Since the start of the pandemic, our growth, we're growing at a faster pace than ever before. And it's inspired me to want to give back, and that's why I'm now offering Airbnb coaching, because I can see all the mistakes that you can make along the way. If someone can just whisper in your ear, don't do that, try this instead, you can just bypass that mistake and you can get to where you want to go so much quicker. So I'm offering one-to-one and group Airbnb coaching based around my 5 Ps, my 5 fundamentals for serviced accommodation success. And it's these 5 fundamentals that we have lived every day since I started the company that has brought us to this achievement to win this. And the 5 fundamentals are: number 1 is the property, getting the right property in the right location, setting it up right for the right type of guests. Fundamental 2 is how you treat those guests once you actually get them in. How do you deliver that customer service that I touched on? How do you ensure that you get 5-star reviews consistently? Fundamental 3 is promotion. How do you promote the property? Again, like TikTok, like I'm talking about, but not just on social media. It's across all the booking sites. Where do you get all the bookings from? And the unicorn bookings of direct bookings. Fundamental 4 is the processes. How do you systemize the business once it's up and running so that it runs like clockwork without you and you can afford to go and do TikToks in a bar? And fundamental 5 is protection. Once you actually get going and you've got guests in, how do you protect your investment, protect your property from people who want to come and just party in it or trash it or use it for reasons you do not want them to use it for? So that's my 5-step formula for serviced apartment success. But let's get back to the awards. So I have to say, the night itself of the award ceremony was absolutely magical. I personally had never been to London as an adult. I'd been on school trips, but I'd never been as a grown-up. It was amazing. I was just thrilled to be shortlisted. So we arranged for the team to come over as well. I went with my wife as well. So there were 4 of us in total at the award ceremony, and it was just unbelievable. It felt like we're coming from Belfast, the city that doesn't get the recognition. We're going over to London, the capital of the UK, and mixing it, going head to head, toe to toe with the big boys from GB. I was just so happy to be shortlisted. I did not know whether we were going to win or not. I looked at the other finalists, and there were some really heavy hitters in there. There were some unbelievable operators in against us, and I just did not know what way it was going to go. But I just wanted to enjoy the night, enjoy the event, and just, enjoy my time in London. But the omens were good, so we stayed in a hotel in Leinster Gardens, Irish connection. My wife was in a green dress, Irish connection. So there were some signs, but I'm not really into that all up, so I sort of discounted it. But once the judge started reading out the reasons why they selected the winner, I knew it was us. They talked about delivering the exceptional customer service for our guests. They talked about innovating and doing TikTok videos to promote Belfast and our apartments. They talked about our online presence in terms of our website and all our blogs and social media. And they mentioned the other ways that I'm able to innovate the company because I have the time and the headspace, because it's been systemized and I have an amazing team helping. But still, when he said the winner is Central Belfast Apartments, I was still in shock. It was an unbelievable feeling. It was so great to have my wife and some of the team there with us to share it all. It was a fantastic night. It was just absolutely amazing. But like Belfast, we're just getting started. We're shortlisted for the World Travel Awards of Leading Service Department Operator in Northern Ireland. We got another Traveller's Choice Award from TripAdvisor, and I know this won't be the last award that we win. Running service accommodation can be a hard graft, but if you get the 5 fundamentals right, you've set yourself up to have a fun and enjoyable business, and a profitable one too. I hope you got some value from this. I've enjoyed sharing it. I'd really appreciate it if you'd give us a like, a congratulations, and hit that subscribe button. Thank you.